And then there's a flash of light that comes from the sarcophagus, and very, very slowly, it just kind of disintegrates into these little puffs of light that float upward and disappear, and there is a figure inside of it. And this is all happening in like super slow motion. You see like guns being raised, you see people sort of just freaking the hell out as the sarcophagus disintegrates. And then kneeling on the ground, you see a woman, and she is wearing a parka, and she's got this tangled blonde hair and a brown pair of slacks, and she is hunched over. Her face is looking down at the ground. Her eyes are closed. And the crowd, I think, also kind of takes a step backward. Some of them take a step backward from her as she appears, except for those who are drawing their weapons. And she looks up at you, Ned, and it's Danny. Only she is different now. You've only sort of slightly seen her in this form once, back when the residents of Amnesty Lodge lost access to the springs that sustained them and sort of gave them their lucidity on Earth. Only it's much, much worse now. She is completely feral. Her eyes are shining this like blood orange red, and her teeth are gnashed and razor sharp, and she leaps to her feet, and you see Barclay starting to move in that direction. You see Mama looking terrified, and Danny is just sprinting toward a crowd that is just half afraid and half ready for battle. What do you do?
Dear Duck, there's a line in Animal House where Otter says, "You fucked up. You trusted us." Well, I guess you fucked up. You trusted me. I am doing what I do best, getting into a bad situation and then running like a scalded dog when it gets worse. I just couldn't go without telling you how much your friendship has meant to me over the years. Even though you are loath to admit it, you are a true hero, and watching you has shown me the value of protecting others, no matter what sacrifice. I just didn't learn the lesson well enough, I guess, to make those sacrifices myself. Wow, this has really turned into a little pity party, hasn't it? Boo-hoo, poor Ned. Anywho, I'm leaving the Cryptonomica to Kirby. I mean, that's how I got it, right? But, you know, check in on he and the gosling goat occasionally, would you? To quote one of my favorite movie stars, Porky Pig, "Ubbity, ubbity, ubbity, ubbity. That's all, folks. With great admiration, Ned Vamoose Chicane."
And then we see Ned fold that letter gently and smile and place it on the desk with Duck's name written on the outside of it, and then he picks up the other piece of paper.
Dear Aubrey, I'm taking your advice and heading out for parts unknown. But I need you to know how sorry I am for the impact I have had in your life. I am a thief. I have always been a thief, but I have never been a robber. There is a huge difference. I never, ever wanted anyone to come to any kind of harm in any of my capers. The fire that took the life of your mother was an accident, a horrible accident that was not supposed to happen. But it did. And I am to blame. I am not asking you to forgive me. I don't want you to forgive me. I want you to always keep in mind that no matter how small a wrong action may seem, wrong is always wrong. And it can easily cause events to quickly spiral out of control. No, I don't want you to forgive me, Aubrey. I want you to hate me. I want you to focus all your hatred on me. And that will free up all the love in that big, remarkable heart of yours for the rest of the world. hold tight to that pendant. Try to have ducks back and become a better person than I. With love, Edmund Kelly Chicane.
You slam into Danny, and it hurts. That hurts. And the two of you kind of spiral and crash to the ground, and Danny's on top of you, and she leans backward and starts to dive her jagged teeth down into your neck. And just at the last second, Barclay runs in and grabs her and holds her under the arms. And from the ground where you're laying, you see him pulling her. She is restrained and fighting, but he is pulling her back toward Amnesty Lodge. And Mama looks at him and then looks down at you. And then you realize that everybody is looking down at you. And then you feel your back start to get wet. And then you don't feel anything on your back anymore. And then you start to feel cold. And from your position on the ground, your vision is starting to fade a bit. But you look up and you see the only rifle that is still pointed outward with some smoke coming out of it belongs to Pigeon, who looks terrified. She collapses. And you hear Mama talking, and she's saying something, and she's frantically gesturing to Sheriff Owens, who nods and takes off running for help. And then Mama asks you something, and you can't quite make it out, and then she shouts your name, and she shouts something else, but you just can't hear it anymore. You just hear the wind, and you just see the stars above you. They are beautiful. And then they're gone.